Nepal is a land of breathtaking landscapes, ancient traditions, and mysteries that have puzzled the world for centuries. Nestled between the towering Himalayas and the lush jungles of the Terai, this small South Asian country holds secrets that few have ever heard about. But among all its wonders, there is one claim that stands out above the rest: a place where women are forbidden to wear clothes. How can this be true? Is it a long-lost tradition, a hidden law, or just another myth waiting to be debunked? Today, we are diving deep into the most unusual facts about Nepal, a country like no other. Stretching across the highest mountains on Earth, Nepal is home to some of the most extreme and fascinating cultures known to mankind. Here, you will find cities where children are worshipped as living gods, villages where time seems to stand still, and natural wonders that defy all logic. The country's deep spiritual roots, influenced by both Hinduism and Buddhism, have given rise to customs that may seem bizarre to outsiders, but have been followed for generations. From mysterious temples hidden in the jungle to a town where bartering is still the main form of trade, Nepal is full of surprises that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. As we journey through this incredible land, we will uncover the truth behind its most peculiar traditions, including the legend of a place where women are not allowed to wear clothes. Could it be real? Or is it just another story twisted by time? Along the way, we will explore a lake that changes color, a flower that blooms only once every 12 years, and a desert that isn't really a desert at all. With every fact more surprising than the last, you won't want to miss a single moment of this adventure. So get ready to explore 15 of the strangest things about Nepal, a country unlike any other. Stay with us until the very end, because the final revelation might just be the most unbelievable of them all. If you think you know Nepal, think again. Let's get started. The village where women are forbidden to wear clothes. There is a legend in Nepal about an isolated village deep in the mountains where women are not allowed to wear clothes. According to the myth, this tradition dates back centuries to a time when the village's founders believed that clothing trapped negative energy and disrupted harmony with nature. Stories passed down through generations claim that any woman who defies this custom faces exile or worse. The mystery surrounding this place has sparked the curiosity of travelers and researchers, but does such a village really exist? The truth is that there is no record of any village in Nepal where women are forbidden from wearing clothes. This is nothing more than a myth that has been exaggerated over time. Nepal is a country deeply rooted in its cultural and religious traditions, and modesty in dress has always been a significant part of its customs. Traditional Nepali clothing varies by region and ethnicity, with women commonly wearing outfits like the gunyu cholo, a traditional dress, or the sari, influenced by Indian fashion. In the Himalayan regions, women often wear thick woolen garments to protect themselves from the cold. Over time, Nepal's fashion has evolved, incorporating modern influences while still preserving its cultural identity. While younger generations in urban areas embrace Western-style clothing, traditional attire remains an essential part of festivals, ceremonies, and daily life in rural areas. This myth about a village with unclothed women may have stemmed from misunderstandings or exaggerated folklore, but Nepalese culture values dignity and tradition when it comes to clothing. The country with more temples than houses. Nepal is often referred to as the land of temples, and for a good reason. In many places, the number of temples surpasses the number of residential buildings. Nowhere is this more evident than in Kathmandu, the capital city, which boasts over 2,500 temples, stupas, and shrines scattered throughout its streets. Walking through the city feels like stepping into an open-air museum of history and spirituality, with every corner revealing a new place of worship. The abundance of temples is deeply tied to Nepal's religious heritage. The country is a melting pot of Hinduism and Buddhism, and both religions have left an indelible mark on its architecture. Some of the most famous temples include Swayambhunath, also known as the Monkey Temple, a sacred Buddhist site perched on a hill overlooking the city, and Pashupatinath, one of the holiest Hindu temples dedicated to Lord Shiva. These sites attract thousands of pilgrims and tourists every year, drawn by their spiritual significance and intricate designs. Temples in Nepal are not just places of worship. They are cultural hubs where festivals, rituals, and community gatherings take place. Whether it is the vibrant holy celebrations or the solemn prayers of Dashain, These temples serve as a bridge between Nepal's past and present. Their presence in such large numbers is a testament to the nation's deep-rooted spirituality and the role religion plays in everyday life. The preservation of these sacred sites remains a priority for both the Nepalese government and organizations like UNESCO, which recognizes several of them as World Heritage Sites. The city where children are gods. In Nepal, some children are not just treated as special, they are worshipped as living gods. The tradition of the Kumari, or living goddess, is one of the most fascinating and unique religious customs in the world. A Kumari is a young girl chosen from the Newar community in Kathmandu to serve as the human embodiment of the Hindu goddess Taleju. She is selected through an ancient and rigorous process that examines physical perfection, fearlessness, and even astrological signs. Once chosen, the Kumari lives in a temple called the Kumari Gar, where she is revered by devotees who seek her blessings. She wears traditional red attire, her forehead marked with a symbolic third eye, and she remains in this role until she reaches puberty. At that point, she returns to a normal life, and a new Kumari is selected. Being a Kumari is an immense honor, but it also comes with sacrifices. The child goddess rarely steps outside, except for special religious occasions, and she must adhere to strict rules. Despite this, many former Kumaris have spoken positively about their experiences, viewing it as a unique part of their heritage. This tradition, while extraordinary, also raises discussions about the balance between spirituality and modern rites. Some argue that it isolates the child from a normal upbringing, while others see it as an integral part of Nepalese culture. Regardless, the Kumari tradition remains one of the most mysterious and revered aspects of Nepal's religious landscape, drawing visitors from around the world, eager to witness this living embodiment of divinity. The village that lives at 4,800 meters above sea level. High in the mountains of Nepal, where the air is thin and temperatures drop below freezing, lies one of the highest permanently inhabited villages in the world. Dunai and Chorolpa, located in the Dolpa region, are home to communities that have adapted to life in extreme conditions. With an altitude of nearly 5,000 meters, daily life here is a constant battle against nature. The lack of oxygen makes physical activity exhausting, and agriculture is nearly impossible due to the rocky terrain and frigid temperatures. The people of these villages have developed unique ways to survive. Livestock, particularly yaks, provide milk, meat, and wool, which are essential for both nutrition and clothing. Homes are built from stone and yak dung to provide insulation against the biting cold. Firewood is scarce, so many rely on dried animal dung for fuel. Despite these harsh conditions, the people of Dunai and Chorolpa have preserved their traditions for centuries, relying on barter systems, ancient Tibetan Buddhist practices, and a close-knit community to sustain their way of life. Reaching these villages is no easy task. The journey requires crossing treacherous mountain paths and enduring unpredictable weather. However, for those who make the trek, the sight of colorful prayer flags fluttering in the wind, the hospitality of the locals, and the breathtaking views of the Himalayas make the journey worthwhile. These high-altitude villages stand as a testament to human resilience, proving that even in the most inhospitable places on Earth, life finds a way. The tribe that communicates with the whistle of the wind. Deep in the Himalayas, where towering peaks make traditional communication difficult, there exists a tribe that has mastered the art of whistling as a form of language. The people of certain remote villages in Nepal have developed a complex system of whistles and echoes to communicate across vast distances. This ancient method, believed to have originated from Tibetan traditions, allows villagers to send messages without the need for modern technology. Unlike spoken words, which can be lost in the wind or drowned out by the roar of mountain streams, whistling carries far and remains clear over long distances. Villagers use a series of tones and pitches to indicate different meanings, such as calling someone home, warning of an approaching danger, or signaling the arrival of visitors. This method is particularly useful in areas where cell phone signals do not reach, and where climbing steep mountain paths to deliver a message could take hours. Though this practice is slowly disappearing with the arrival of modern communication tools, some remote communities still preserve it as part of their heritage. Linguists and anthropologists have taken an interest in studying these unique whistling languages, as they offer insights into how humans adapt their communication methods to their environment. As Nepal modernizes, efforts are being made to document and protect this extraordinary form of communication before it fades into history. The flower that blooms only once every 12 years. In the high-altitude regions of Nepal, a rare natural phenomenon takes place once every 12 years. The Nila Kurinji, a mesmerizing blue-purple flower, blooms in spectacular fashion, covering the mountainsides in a breathtaking sea of color. This flower, which belongs to the Strobilanthes genus, follows an unusual blooming cycle, making its appearance a once-in-a-lifetime event for many people. Scientists attribute this rare blooming pattern to the plant's survival strategy. By flowering at long intervals, the Nila Kurinji ensures that its seeds spread widely without being overgrazed by animals. The mass flowering event creates a surreal landscape, attracting botanists, photographers, and tourists eager to witness this natural wonder. The phenomenon is deeply respected by locals, who believe that the blooming of the Nila Kurinji symbolizes renewal and good fortune. While this rare event primarily occurs in parts of India, sightings of the Nila Kurinji have also been reported in Nepal, particularly in isolated mountainous regions where the climate and altitude create the perfect conditions for its growth. However, habitat destruction and climate change threaten the future of these unique flowers. Conservation efforts are underway to protect the regions where the Nila Kurinji blooms, ensuring that future generations will have the chance to witness its rare and magical transformation of the landscape. Nepal has its own Bermuda Triangle. High in the Himalayas, hidden among towering peaks and glaciers, lies one of Nepal's most mysterious and dangerous places, Tilicho Lake. Known for its breathtaking beauty, this lake is one of the highest altitude lakes in the world, sitting at nearly 5,000 meters above sea level. But beyond its natural wonder, locals whisper eerie stories about disappearances, earning it the title of Nepal's own Bermuda Triangle. Over the years, multiple hikers and explorers have gone missing while trekking in the Tilicho region. Some blame the unpredictable weather, which can change from clear skies to blizzards in minutes. Others point to the treacherous terrain, where steep cliffs and loose rocks pose a constant danger. But for many locals, the lake holds a deeper, more supernatural mystery. Legends speak of spirits guarding the lake, punishing those who disrespect its sacred waters. Some even claim that strange lights and eerie sounds have been witnessed near the lake at night. Scientists, however, provide a more rational explanation. The combination of high altitude, extreme cold, and lack of oxygen can lead to disorientation and hallucinations, increasing the risk of accidents. Despite its dangers, Tilicho Lake remains a popular destination for adventurers, but only the most prepared dare to face its unpredictable and enigmatic nature. The national drink that can get you drunk in seconds. Among Nepal's many culinary traditions, there is one drink that stands out for its potency and cultural significance: rakshi. This traditional homemade liquor has been consumed in Nepal for centuries and is known for its strong, fiery taste that can leave even experienced drinkers feeling lightheaded after just a few sips. Made from fermented rice or millet, rakshi is distilled in small batches, often in local villages, using ancient techniques passed down through generations. Unlike modern liquors, rakshi has a much higher alcohol content, sometimes reaching over 40%. This makes it one of the strongest traditional drinks in South Asia. It is often served warm and enjoyed during special ceremonies, religious rituals, and major celebrations such as Dashain and Tihar. In Nepalese culture, offering rakshi to guests is a sign of hospitality and respect, and refusing it can sometimes be considered impolite. Despite its strength, rakshi is deeply embedded in the country's traditions. Some even believe that it has medicinal properties, helping to warm the body in the freezing Himalayan winters. However, due to its potency, it is recommended to drink it in moderation. Whether enjoyed by locals in a remote mountain village or sipped at a festival in Kathmandu, rakshi remains a symbol of Nepalese heritage and a must-try experience for visitors seeking an authentic taste of the country. The city where electricity only works for a few hours. In most parts of the world, electricity is taken for granted. But in Nepal, particularly in some remote areas, power shortages are a daily reality. There are towns and villages where electricity is only available for a few hours a day, forcing residents to adjust their entire lives around these limited energy windows. Even in major cities like Kathmandu, power outages have been a long-standing issue, affecting businesses, households, and daily activities. The main reason for Nepal's electricity crisis is its dependence on hydropower. While the country has an abundance of rivers, most power plants rely on seasonal water flow, which decreases during dry months. Additionally, outdated infrastructure and increasing demand for electricity have led to frequent blackouts. In the past, planned power cuts, known as load shedding, were a common occurrence, lasting up to 12 hours a day in some areas. To cope with these energy shortages, Nepalese families and businesses have found creative solutions. Many rely on solar panels, backup generators, and battery-powered inverters to store electricity for essential use. In rural areas, people still use traditional oil lamps and firewood for lighting and cooking. In recent years, the government has made efforts to improve energy production, with new hydropower projects and agreements to import electricity from neighboring India. While progress has been made, reliable electricity remains a challenge in many parts of Nepal. Nepal has its own calendar. While most of the world follows the Gregorian calendar, Nepal operates on a completely different system. The country uses the Bikram Sambat calendar, which is approximately 57 years ahead of the Gregorian calendar. This means that while the rest of the world is in the year 2024, Nepal is already living in the year 2081. The Bikram Sambat calendar is a lunar solar calendar used primarily in Nepal and some parts of India. It follows a cycle of 12 months, but the lengths of the months vary depending on the lunar phases. The Nepalese New Year falls in mid-April, a time of grand celebrations and festivities across the country. The calendar plays an essential role in determining festival dates, astrological readings, and religious observances. One of the most important festivals based on this calendar is Dashain, Nepal's longest and most widely celebrated holiday. The calendar also dictates the timing of Tihar, the Festival of Lights, which is similar to Diwali in India. While government offices and financial institutions may recognize both calendars for official purposes, everyday life in Nepal is still deeply connected to the Bikram Sambat system. Visitors are often surprised to find themselves stepping into a future year as soon as they arrive in Nepal, adding yet another unique aspect to the country's rich cultural identity.
El pueblo que celebra la muerte en lugar de llorarla. En Nepal, la muerte no siempre es vista como una tragedia, sino como una transición hacia la siguiente vida. A lo largo del río Bagmati, en el templo de Pashupatinath, se llevan a cabo cremaciones públicas que siguen una tradición profundamente espiritual. En lugar de llantos y lamentos, las familias honran a sus seres queridos con rituales ancestrales, aceptando que la muerte es solo una parte del ciclo de la existencia. El proceso comienza con la preparación del cuerpo, que es envuelto en telas de color naranja y amarillo, símbolo de pureza y renacimiento. Luego, se coloca sobre una pira de madera, donde se enciende el fuego mientras los sacerdotes recitan mantras sagrados. El humo asciende lentamente, y cuando las llamas consumen el cuerpo, las cenizas son arrojadas al río Bagmati, considerado sagrado por los hindúes. A diferencia de las ceremonias occidentales, donde la muerte suele estar rodeada de tristeza y recogimiento, en Nepal es vista como un viaje hacia una nueva existencia. Para los familiares, la cremación no es un adiós definitivo, sino una forma de liberar el alma para su próxima reencarnación. Esta perspectiva, profundamente influenciada por el hinduismo y el budismo, ha moldeado una cultura donde la muerte es aceptada con serenidad y respeto. El lago que cambia de color. Ubicado en el Parque Nacional Rara, en el noroeste de Nepal, el lago Rara es una joya natural rodeada de bosques y montañas nevadas. Lo que hace que este lago sea especial no es solo su belleza, sino su capacidad para cambiar de color a lo largo del día. Dependiendo de la luz del sol y la época del año, sus aguas pueden tornarse azul profundo, turquesa o verde esmeralda, creando un paisaje surrealista que ha fascinado a locales y científicos por igual. Para los habitantes de la región, el lago Rara es sagrado y está lleno de leyendas. Algunas historias locales dicen que el agua tiene propiedades curativas, mientras que otros creen que es el hogar de espíritus protectores. Desde una perspectiva científica, este fenómeno se debe a la profundidad del lago, la presencia de algas microscópicas y la forma en que la luz del sol se refleja en su superficie. El agua cristalina del lago actúa como un espejo natural, capturando los colores del cielo y las montañas circundantes. Debido a su ubicación remota, llegar a Rara no es fácil, pero para quienes logran completar la travesía, la vista de este lago en constante transformación es una experiencia inolvidable. El mercado donde todo se compra con trueque. En algunos pueblos rurales de Nepal, el dinero no tiene el mismo valor que en el resto del mundo. En lugar de billetes y monedas, la gente todavía practica el trueque, intercambiando productos y servicios como se hacía en tiempos antiguos. En estos mercados, un agricultor puede cambiar sacos de arroz por sal, un tejedor puede obtener especias a cambio de sus telas y un pastor de yaks puede intercambiar lana por herramientas de trabajo. Esta forma de comercio no solo mantiene vivas tradiciones ancestrales, sino que también fortalece la comunidad, ya que la confianza y el respeto mutuo son esenciales para que el sistema funcione. El trueque sigue siendo común en regiones donde el acceso a bancos es limitado y donde los billetes de papel no tienen tanta utilidad como los bienes físicos. Sin embargo, a medida que Nepal se moderniza, esta práctica ha comenzado a desaparecer en muchas áreas, siendo reemplazada por métodos de pago convencionales. Aún así, en algunas aldeas de montaña, los mercados de trueque siguen siendo el corazón de la economía local, ofreciendo una ventana a un mundo donde la cooperación y la autosuficiencia son clave para la vida diaria. Nepal tiene una escalera al cielo natural. Entre los picos nevados del Himalaya, en la región de la Annapurna, se encuentra una de las escaleras de piedra más largas del mundo. El sendero de Gorepani Pung Hill está compuesto por miles de escalones tallados en la montaña, formando una ruta que ha sido utilizada por comerciantes, peregrinos y viajeros durante siglos. A medida que los caminantes ascienden, se ven rodeados de densos bosques, terrazas de cultivo y pequeños pueblos tradicionales. Cada peldaño es testigo de incontables historias de viajeros que han recorrido el mismo camino en busca de comercio, espiritualidad o aventura. El esfuerzo de la subida se ve recompensado al llegar a Pung Hill, un mirador desde donde se puede observar el amanecer sobre las majestuosas montañas del Annapurna y el Dhaulagiri. A diferencia de las escaleras artificiales que se construyen en las ciudades modernas, esta escalera natural se fusiona con el paisaje, reflejando la armonía entre la humanidad y la naturaleza. Aunque el sendero puede ser agotador, quienes lo han recorrido aseguran que cada paso vale la pena, convirtiéndose en una de las experiencias más memorables de Nepal. El país que sobrevivió a los terremotos más devastadores. Nepal se encuentra en una de las zonas sísmicas más activas del mundo y a lo largo de su historia ha sufrido terremotos devastadores. Sin embargo, ninguno ha sido tan destructivo como el de abril de 2015. Con una magnitud de 7.8, este terremoto sacudió el país, dejando a su paso casi 9.000 muertos, miles de heridos y cientos de miles de personas sin hogar. La ciudad de Katmandú sufrió enormes daños, con edificios históricos reducidos a escombros y templos milenarios colapsando en cuestión de segundos. En las zonas rurales, aldeas enteras fueron arrasadas, dejando a sus habitantes atrapados entre los escombros. A pesar de la devastación, la respuesta del pueblo nepalí fue inmediata. Comunidades enteras se unieron para rescatar a los heridos, distribuir ayuda y comenzar la reconstrucción de sus hogares con los pocos recursos que tenían. El terremoto no solo dejó una marca física en Nepal, sino también un impacto emocional y espiritual. Para muchos nepalíes, el desastre fue una prueba de fe, y en los meses siguientes, las oraciones y rituales se multiplicaron en los templos. Hoy, aunque las cicatrices del terremoto aún son visibles en algunos lugares, Nepal se ha levantado con fuerza. La resiliencia de su gente y los esfuerzos de reconstrucción han permitido que el país siga adelante, mostrando al mundo que, incluso después de la peor tragedia, siempre hay esperanza.
Nepal is a country unlike any other, a land of towering mountains, ancient traditions, and mysteries that continue to captivate the world. From villages where bartering is still the primary form of trade to staircases carved into the mountains that have been used for generations, Nepal is full of surprises that defy expectations. It is a place where life and death are seen through a spiritual lens, where some children are worshipped as living deities, and where the forces of nature shape not just the landscape, but also the beliefs of the people. We have explored a lake that mysteriously changes colors, a high-altitude village where people thrive in near unlivable conditions, and a market where money holds no value. we have uncovered myths, rituals, and stories that have endured for centuries, woven into the daily lives of Nepalese communities. Whether it is the eerie legends surrounding Tilicho Lake, the whistling language of remote mountain tribes, or the devastating yet inspiring resilience of a country that has survived some of history's most destructive earthquakes, each of these stories reveals something extraordinary about Nepal. This is a land where tradition and modernity coexist, where ancient temples stand alongside bustling city streets, and where even the concept of time follows a unique calendar. Every aspect of Nepal, from its spiritual cremation rituals along the Bagmati River to the potent Rakshi liquor that has been passed down for generations, reflects a nation rich in history and culture. It is a country that continues to preserve its heritage while adapting to the modern world, creating an experience that is both timeless and ever-changing. Which of these incredible facts surprised you the most? Do you think you could handle life in a village at nearly 5,000 meters above sea level? Let us know in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe for more fascinating content about the world's strangest places. Stay tuned for the next adventure.